Chris Neiman. Thank you so much for being here. Brandon is the application engineer and technical design. And he also does technical design and support. And Chris is the senior regional sales manager. Once again, we do have our Q&A, so please continue to ask questions. They are being monitored closely. And go ahead and take it away. Thanks so much again.
Well, good morning, almost afternoon, depending upon where you are. Maybe it is afternoon. Good day. Chris Neiman here, joined by Brandon Oberchuk. As Nicole had mentioned, we're really glad and excited to be here with you today, talking about the future. What does the future hold and kind of where we sit with some things? This is very exciting. I wanted to kind of cover some things that are near and dear to our heart at SHURE that we see industry pushing for and asking us questions about. But this is kind of our what we'll cover here in our short time together. We're going to review and talk about camera tracking. We'll go over some partnerships that we have and new information. We'll talk a little bit about our Intellimix Room system, and then also about a brand new product that just launched this summer, called the MXA 902. We'll leave some time for questions once we get there as well. So just kind of a reminder to some, or maybe this might be new information to you, our premier ceiling array microphone is really a sought after thing, not only for its audio quality, but because we provide very specific information that is helpful to cameras in picking or choosing where a talker's talking. There's some really great advancements in camera tracking technology on the video side, but sometimes just from video, you can't tell who's actually talking. So it relies upon the audio side to help provide that information. So we are partnered with companies like EA-Link, Aver, and Crestron, or One Beyond. Crestron bought a company called One Beyond. We've been partnered with them for a very long time doing camera preset recall and camera tracking. And if you're not familiar with these guys, but you're interested in kind of how this whole thing works and how it goes together, the MXA 920 is able to provide up to 8 simultaneous talker locations. And this is kind of important because this is one thing that sets us apart from some of the competition. We are able to provide the actual XYZ coordinates in a space of where a talker's talking. The MXA 920 can deploy a lobe automatically where that talker's talking. That's great for the audio signal chain. But since we have that data, we can reveal that data to an external system like an Aver or a EA-Link or a Crestron system. And interestingly enough, that if there's 8 people talking on the other end of a call, probably nobody's listening on the other side. But let's say there's 2 people talking, or even 3 engaged in kind of very quick conversation, spontaneous conversation. We're able to provide that data instantaneously, and it's based on voice activity. So not loud sounds or noises or this kind of thing. We actually call it VAD. Voice activity detection. And so it ignores things like loud fans or walking, keyboard clicking, potato chip bag rattling, all that kind of stuff. It's looking specifically for voice activity to deploy a lobe and then to supply that information again to the camera system. Here's what a basic EA-Link system might look like. And with EA-Link paired with the 920, we can do what's called camera preset recall. And kind of the nomenclature for SHURE that we like to use is camera preset recall are preset looks. They're predefined looks that when the camera receives data, it will go to a predefined look. So it's preset recall, and it's single microphone, single camera only. It's a very simple process to set up. It works very well and easy. If you take a step up from there, this is what their software kind of looks like and how you might assign the different channels to a camera to activate these preset recalls. Looking on to, for instance, an Aver solution, Aver has the ability to not only do preset recall, so again, those predetermined looks, predefined presets, but it can also do actual camera tracking. So meaning if a talker talks in one space, the camera can move to that space automatically based on our XYZ coordinates. There's a capability of using multiple microphones, and the process is moderately easy to more advanced setup process. Cost-wise is still a lower to medium cost solution like Yalink. And this is their software. This is, again, a paid-for software from Aver. This is not a SHURE software. This is Aver software. They're showing our MXA 920 in grid format here. And the little green dot that you see is actually the software revealing where it's seeing our XYZ coordinates land. So that correlates to their camera. And the camera would zoom or pan, tilt, whatever it needs to do to get to that XYZ coordinates. So pretty cool little combination. Glad to be partnered with Aver, and they continue to make great strides with their software and capabilities. But again, keeping in mind with Aver, if you need camera tracking, or excuse me, if you need camera tracking, you need to employ their software as well to do that. And then, moving on to a One Beyond Crestron system. Again, we've been partnered with One Beyond for quite a while with a lot of our different products over the years. The 920 is a great addition to the One Beyond system. And just recently, even I was looking at a project that has 16 cameras, all using the data from our MXA 920s to help make decisions about who's talking when and where. Obviously, that's a very large system. This one that we're seeing here is a much more typical system where you might have 4 or 5 cameras. And kind of the advantage here, again, I think to the Crestron system is that there's a fairly large compute on the back end making decisions about which camera to switch to. So it's a much more produced look or feel, meaning like a camera operator, camera switchers in the back, making decisions about which camera to switch to. It has a much more, I guess, like I said, a produced feel with a lot more cameras. This is actually SHURE's facility in Niles. This is our training room. Excuse me, it's in Chicago. This one's in Chicago. And you can see here we've got a couple of 920s. Those are the square things. The yellow, they're not rectangle. They are, I'm not sure what the
hexagon.
Yeah, some kind of. Anyway, you see a couple of them at the top of the screen. You see 4 of them at the top, and then 1 in the back. So this is 5 cameras, and there are multiple presets that those cameras can go to. Those presets are denoted by the green and the blue dots, and they're triggered by the microphones. But in addition to the presets, recall, it also can do camera tracking as well in real time. And this, in fact, has a video we'll play here. And you can kind of see as we see these different zones kind of lined up for cameras, as different things activate, the cameras can pan and move to different locations. And then if you have a presenter, maybe even that walks in different areas, those cameras can work there. They also can zoom and follow somebody across in real time as they're walking through and across the presentation space. So again, that's the One Beyond One Beyond Crestron system. To kind of sum them up, Yalink is a great solution. It's easy to deploy. It's not too costly. Preset only, recall. The Aver can do a hybrid of preset and auto tracking. It can do multiple microphones, and it's also a moderate setup process and cost. And then where the One Beyond offers a much more finer tuned multi-camera shoot, highly produced feel and look, it is more costly and a more complex setup, but kind of right now, it seems to be a very good solution for those spaces that need a much more defined, camera tracking / produced feel. So some of you might be asking, well, how does QSys play into this? Don't they have cameras and don't they have plugins and stuff? And the answer is absolutely they do. Real quick background, some of you may know that there was another company several years ago that filed lawsuit against SHURE. And during that process, that time, we had to put the brakes on some things. And that included being part of things like a QSys technology partnership. All of that went away. The other company said, oh yeah, whoops, sorry, never mind. SHURE can do whatever they want. We're going to do whatever we want. We got done with that in December and immediately started working on becoming back again part of the Technology Partners Program with QSys. So there's already a plugin for the 920 that's a control module for QSys. And you will soon see our product in the ACPR, the Automatic Camera Preset Recall library as well. That's part of QSys. And just as a reminder, there's other plugins as well for QSys available all the way back from our MXW wireless system to Axient to ULXD. So we enjoy being partners with others in the industry, and certainly now you can also find us partnered in the Technology Partnership Program with QSys as well. Here's a quick look at what that plugin looks like for those of you that have been inside of QSys. You know that there's modules and plugins and stuff that you can use. This is what the 920 plugin looks like that's available today. Moving forward past camera tracking, we introduced this year a very exciting product called the MXA 902. And for those of you that suffer from a little dyslexia like me, don't get it confused with a 920. I know there's the same three numbers, they just got jumbled up a little bit, but it's a completely different product. The 920 has been the premier product since it came out, in-ceiling array product. Sounds great, lots of functionality, lots of configuration, but there's a lot of talk about meeting equity. That's also part of the future of conferencing, is bringing meeting equity to everyone that's part of the meeting. And from the video side, you'll see that a lot of times that means like everyone has the same head and shoulders type shot. Even if you're in a large table space with multiple people, you know, cameras now and algorithms are trying to frame everybody out to have the same look across the screen. Well, wouldn't it be nice if we had audio equity to go along with the video equity? Because frankly, being an audio guy, if you don't have good audio, then there's no equity there at all. You kind of get bored and tired and tune out. But the 902 is there to help with that in smaller spaces. I mentioned the 902 is nothing like a 920. It's a completely different product. First of all, it has a loudspeaker on board. So it's an array microphone that has a loudspeaker right on board. The idea is that this would take the place of where you might otherwise put like a speaker bar or an all-in-one below a display. I know the price point of those things have been fairly attractive, and they keep getting forced into spaces that really are bigger than what they are meant to cover or even able to cover. And so you get into a situation where it might be a conference table that's 14, 16, 18 feet away, and who's the most important person? They're sitting at the far end. Yeah, Brandon's the most important person. They sit the furthest away, and that means they sound the worst on the far end of the call. We've got physics here. There's more room, noise that gets entered in, and all kinds of other challenges and issues the further away you move from a microphone. So what if we took that idea of that all-in-one, or the speaker bar, we'd say, the speaker bar with microphone array, and actually put it in the ceiling where now it has an equal chance at hearing everyone similarly. It's the next generation array architecture, so it sounds better. And then we also have a loudspeaker on board that gives everyone in the room an equitable experience as well from the far end coming in. That is where this product is really meant to live. It covers a 20 by 20 foot space. There's no configuration required. It automatically deploys lobes wherever a talker is talking. And when you pair it with a device like we're showing here, like our ANI USB, That's a team certified solution, Zoom certified solution as well. So all the processing is done on board, AEC, noise reduction, all that stuff's done right on board. You don't have to worry about it. And it makes for a very nice, easy solution that really ups your sound quality in those spaces. Now, we have partnerships for this stuff too, like Barcode ClickShare is a partner of ours, and it's compatible with all the Barcode ClickShare stuff. I kind of went through this stuff a little bit already. Here is, okay, I had computer problems earlier today. Let's see if this actually plays through the system. If it doesn't, we'll skip it. We're going to hear the difference between a video bar, the kind of the premier video bar in the industry, hear what that sounds like, versus the MXA 902. These are great samples to listen to. And doesn't look like we have any audio. Sorry about that. Let me check one thing here. Okay, dang it. We'll skip this for now.
No worries. Did you try clicking the share audio tab?
Yeah.
When you're pressing the share screen, there's a share audio knob that just needs to be switched.
Yeah, and I believe it was, I've got to jump out here to do this. Share there. Here. And no, there we go. Once again.
Here's what it sounds like 4 feet from a leading all-in-one video bar. At this distance, the sound quality and the levels are good because I'm close enough to the microphone and the room acoustics are well behaved.
And here's what it sounds like 18 feet away from the all-in-one video bar, which is within the specified range. Notice a few things, that the audio levels are lower and the high frequency content of my voice is not coming across as well as the closer talker, which makes me sound softer and less clear than the closer talker.
And here again is what it sounds like from a more ideal distance of about 4 feet. A talker closer to a microphone sounds louder and sounds more clear. In other words, not all meeting participants are picked up equally depending on their distance from the all-in-one video bar.
Because of this, farther talkers at the head of the table would not be as well understood at the other end of a video conference. If those remote listeners were in a noisy environment, they might not be able to understand at all.
Okay, so that was the all-in-one video bar. Very, very popular, kind of a standard in the industry right now. Now let's have a listen to the 902.
Here's what it sounds. Now, instead of an all-in-one video bar, we will listen to the SHURE MXA 902 ceiling array with built-in loudspeaker placed about 6 feet ahead of the room's display. This is what it sounds like from a close distance at the head of the room. The sound quality and levels are good because I'm fairly close to the microphone, even though it's in the ceiling.
And I'll talk from the end of the table through the MX8 902. Compared to all-in-one video bars, the SHURE ceiling mic array has many more beamforming elements to achieve much higher quality pickup for all talkers, whether near or farther, achieving better audio equity for everyone in the room.
And here I'm talking again from closer to the array. Notice that in comparison to an all-in-one bar, the difference in near versus far talker quality and level is not as drastic.
No matter where you sit around the table, a ceiling array can deliver very even voice coverage for all participants.
Here we go. So kind of the idea where this might go, pretty straightforward. Knowing that we have all processing on board the microphone and a loudspeaker and the mic, there's no need to have external DSP. There's no need to add extra speakers. The speaker covers the same size room as the mic can cover, so 20 by 20. And one network cable to the ceiling. So audio, power, and control goes to the MXA 902. And you're done. You connect that up to a network switch because it is PoE+, it requires PoE+. You can route that to the ANI USB, and then your ANI USB gives you your USB connection to your in-room NUC, your PC, your BYOD, whatever you have, your USB connection would go to the ANI USB. Here's a quick look at the back of it. Again, from the front, it's very deceiving. It looks just like an MXA 920. But from the back, you can tell the difference. There's up in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see there's a little backhand for the loudspeaker. You can also see the reveal where we sneak that loudspeaker in. Since the array is a circular array or clock array and the PCB board is a big circle, we do have those little areas on every corner of the square frame that we can hide that loudspeaker. So there's where the loudspeaker's hidden. And if I didn't mention it already, it is Teams and Zoom certified with the ANI USB. So that's a great addition to the line. Finally, the last thing I wanted to kind of mention here is we round the corner. Some of you might be familiar with our P300 processing. That is a standalone half-rack processor that really pairs nicely with all of our conference microphones. If you've ever experienced it, it just seems to work better, sound better. It's a quick deployment with our microphones. And, you know, it's not meant to be a big, huge DSP. It's very focused on what its purpose is, and that is for conferencing. When we built that piece of hardware, we made those algorithms to be portable, meaning they're purely software. So we built a piece of software called IntelliMix Room that can install right on the in-room computer that's running Teams or Zoom. It installs on that computer and it does all the processing that you need for the room. The nice thing about software is that you can develop for software much quicker. And frankly, the computers, they get updated much quicker, right? When we design hardware, it's going to last for a while. It's going to stick in there and last for 3, 5, 7, 10 years. In the case of like MXW, we've been on MXW now for quite a while. With software, as the compute power gets faster, better, quicker, we can take advantage of that. So you may be familiar or have seen some of the ads, for instance, for IntelliMix Room, where we have our AI denoiser. That's the denoiser that is more dynamic. A lot of people think of, oh yeah, I got a noisy room, and maybe it's the air conditioning rumbling away. There's a separate process that takes care of that called noise reduction. AI denoiser specifically goes after all of the pin clicking and the potato chip bag rattling and key clicking that happens in the meeting. The dynamic stuff that a noise reduction system will not take care of. It requires AI denoiser. That was an upgrade to the software recently. Next, when we keep talking about things like audio equity, one of the things that you'll see Zoom and even Teams looking to do is to lay all of the participants out across your screen from left to right. And the idea being that if somebody on the right side of my screen is talking, their voice should come from that side. Or as it pans across to the left side, that voice would change where it's coming from through my system. Well, you can only do that when you have a stereo AEC. And so we have launched stereo AEC in IntelliMix Room. It runs great, again, on Windows 10. It runs as a service. It's easy to deploy on those devices. But it looks just kind of like your P300 does internally, with the addition of the ability to add stereo AEC now when you're using these advanced or more current functions that are available from Zoom and soon will be also from Teams. There it is. There's a look inside of IntelliMix Room. Pretty standard stuff. All of our inputs coming in, parametric EQ, AEC, all this stuff inside the software now with also the ability to have a stereo AEC to run the future of conferencing. At this point, I think we got about 5 minutes left, maybe?
Well landed.
Yeah.
Well landed.
So much. We do have some questions. Thank you for a fantastic presentation. I'm going to go ahead and check our Q&A here. So the first question is, for the MXA 902, is this a 1 per room setup?
That is a great question. The short answer is yes. It's a 1 per room setup. The more involved answer is the reason it's 1 per room is because the microphone is using its own loudspeaker as the AEC reference. If I start to add additional speakers in the room, the AEC reference can get a little wonky. So at least for today, for now, 902 is meant to be just a 1 room, smaller room, small to mid-sized room solution.
Okay, so I suppose that answers our next question, which is, can you pair multiple MXA 902s for larger spaces?
Right. Yeah.
So lots of interest there. So thank you for tackling that. The next question is, does the VAD system run independently on the MXA 920, or does it require a Windows machine to process the data before handing off to the next system?
That's a great question too. This all happens internal to the microphone. All of the DSP and resources that the mic needs are on board, including voice activity detection.
Terrific. Thank you so much. We have a separate question here. What is your most popular SHURE device thus far that you are seeing in conference spaces?
Yep. I would probably have to say the MXA 920. And even if I step back a little bit further, the MXA 910, which launched in 2016, really set a new bar for what people could expect from a ceiling microphone array. To that point, there were some other products out there, but they performed mediocre at best, in most cases, and a lot of times not well at all. So when the 910 came out, it really kind of clobbered the market and gave us a reason that, oh, I can get all my mics off the table. And the 920 being the next generation array architecture sounds even better than a 910. I think what happens is the executives and other people see that they can get great audio from the ceiling now without having anything on the table, and that's what they go for. So that's an educated guess. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that's the case. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Well, I want to thank Brandon Oberchek and also Chris Neiman for this incredible presentation from SHURE. It is time for our giveaways, and boy, do we have some exciting giveaways. We have an MBZ microphone, some SRH 440A headphones, and an SE1 and some SE112 earphones. That microphone's really neat. It's a dynamic microphone with USB and XLR outputs. You can use it for computers, professional interfaces alike. Connect it with a USB and explore any kind of additional setup features. You've got your SHURE Plus Motive app. You can control vocal tone and distance, all kinds of fun stuff with that microphone. Thank you so much. And those headphones are professional studio grade. You can deliver detailed frequency response and accurate audio for podcasting. And with those SE112, we've got professional and sound isolating earphones. Incredible, durable, dynamic, and of course, discreet. So thank you so much for those. I'm going to have you go ahead and pick another number if you don't mind. We're going to do 3 separate giveaways here between 1 and 150. Go ahead, either.
All right.
Brandon.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the number 9.
Okay, terrific. So we're going to start off with giving away number 9, the microphone. It's a podcasting microphone, isn't it? That's really neat. So that's the MV7 SHURE microphone. Number 9, Tyrell Vaughn. Congratulations, number 9, Tyrell Vaughn. Congratulations. Okay, let's go with the earphones.
All right.
The earbuds. Can we pick another number, please?
You bet. Let's see. How about 49?
49. That number has not been called yet. Let's see what it corresponds to. Okay. 49 for the earphones. We have Kevin Mullis, number 49. Congratulations, Kevin Mullis. You are the winner of the earphones. And now let's do the headphones. Can we get one more number, please? Again, between 1 and 150.
149.
149. Okay. Our next winner is Tim Chernenko. Tim Chernenko, 149. Congratulations. You are the winner of those headphones. What an awesome prize. Thank you so much to SHURE for your generosity. And it is now time for our next presentation.